General Walters, the initial Russian plan did not work in their favor, thank goodness, and due to the courage of the Ukrainian people and the support of the international community. So it appears now that they are engaged, as they were in Chechnya and other episodes, in a campaign of attrition and directed attacks on civilian targets rather than military targets. And the question really, in that context, is can the Ukrainian forces maintain their efforts, and can we continue to maintain our support for the Ukrainian forces?
Chairman, I think we can and we will continue to maintain our support for the Ukrainian armed forces. We'll do so with material support as well as thought. And as you well know, we've made dramatic improvements in our information and sharing and intelligence sharing. And as they continue to prosecute their campaign, our advice and our assistance with respect to material will be very, very important.
Thank you. Now, we are in the midst of a tremendous sort of shift or pivot, as the General Secretary of NATO said. What areas should we be encouraging our European and international allies to take to face this not only present threat, but the continuing threat of Russia and China?
Chairman, I think we have to comprehensively improve our military disposition in all quadrants and in all domains. And we have a plan in place to do so. And as the Secretary General approaches the Leaders Summit this June, his overall NATO plan coincides with that military plan to ensure that we can show greater NATO strength and greater military strength. And as you well know, we're on the appropriate glide path to do so as we continue to fortify the 8 battle groups that exist in the proximity of Eastern Europe.
Thank you. General Ovost, the issue of contested logistics, which you touched upon, includes not just the platforms to carry material, but getting that material through to our forces in the Pacific, in Europe, or any place in the world. And with the ability of our adversaries to detect and to hit targets at long ranges, how are we planning to do that?
Chairman, that is of concern to us. And as we work in the Indo-Pacific with Admiral Aquilino, we are looking at a strategy of diverse and disperse. In other words, we are seeing that we're going to have more distributed operations in more locations, which will provide us that redundancy and resilience, and then diversity to have some capability to move with respect to ships on the water that are in motion, which are harder to target than a large single location where we stack up our logistics. So we are very much looking at how we do intra-theater disbursement at a time and place where we'll be able to resupply the forces securely, but keep it moving so that they don't become targets into the future. That gets back to the agility of the force that we need. And to do that, our forces need to be connected. They need to be on the network. Our ability to securely command and control and understand where the forces are, where the logistics are, and where they need to go.
So in some respects, communications is the primary tool in your efforts.
Yes, Chairman, the ability to securely command and control and direct the resources to the highest priorities is a critical capability that we have. Also,
I think by implication, you would need a significant number of platforms, and probably smaller than the ones we were customarily used to. And in addition, we'd have to take steps to try to electronically hide those vessels. Is that correct, or airplanes?
Yes, Senator, we know that now that we cannot afford to simply disperse forces into the field. They have to be integrated with all joint functions, with fires, maneuver, force protection. So in that manner, we're going to have to deploy in packages forward. And to your point, it's not simply large ships or large aircraft. It'll be a variety of capabilities depending on the scheme of maneuver and who we're supporting.
Thank you very much. Thank you both.